Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new year and the world is getting crazier than ever before. And there's only two idiots who know best to bring it to you. Join Christopher Mole and Dakota Francis every week on the Bald and Bonkers Show. You never know what's going to happen. A statement that continues to be true the further into this year we seem to go.
I know. We are
It's only
definitely two
January.
idiots. And we're definitely two idiots.
Yes.
As Brian Parapost says, we're definitely two idiots.
Yeah, no, I don't know whether or not to be offended by him being so fascinated with that particular intro. Because that particular...
He's kind of simple-minded. He likes things like that. It's, I'm almost sorry, but...
Yeah, now I do want to give a quick little shout out. Yes, the recording for this won't be going out until a week later, and that's also something I want to address real quick. Seems like some people have had some concerns with that arrangement, but I do want to give a shout out to Lex from Through the Lens and Global Ghost Hunt. I would just happen to pop in on Through the Lens earlier, and Lex is taking this weekend off because he has had a death in the family. Yeah, Lex. Yeah, I know we all kind of butted heads before, but much love, brother. We're thinking of you. Condolences to you and your family. And this feels kind of a bad segue, but in case anybody is wondering, horrible timing.
Yeah.
I promise, horrible timing. For those that may be wondering, you heard how we started yesterday's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, there's a happy ending. My grandma got released earlier today. Apparently, we came close to losing her. She took the brunt of the rollover, but that woman's too damn stubborn to go down.
The main thing, she's okay. A car can be replaced, but a grandmother can't be. Right? I mean, it's a car. The insurance will probably pay up for it. Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world, And Lex, you're in my prayers, bud.
Yeah,
okay.
I understand.
It's a terrible time when someone dies in the family.
I know. It's no, I understand, Lex. My grandfather was a heavy influence on me, and now I feel you, brother. We're here for you if you ever need someone to talk to, though he's not really the type.
You're better talking to him, because I'm just a raving lunatic, and as Brian says, I'm an idiot.
Him more so than me, but anyway.
Good to put a wee smile on your face there for you. So, Dakota, tonight, what are we talking about tonight? Some strange shit that's been happening in this crazy world.
Yeah, pretty much a continuation of yesterday's episode, since people seem to be intimidated by the fact that we've set up a form for getting them on the show.
I know.
It's like, first off, I know everybody wants to feel special and feel asked, but if you really want to make your mission happen, you're not going to be sitting around waiting for a miracle. That's lazy. Yeah. You're just going to miss all the opportunities. Chris, I have lives, man. We can't just sit around scoping out random people.
You got to remember, guys, we've got things that we have to do. I mean, we've got things that we do every day, but we've also I've got my Ghost Squad Scotland that I do on a Wednesday, and I've got to find guests for that. Right?
Yeah.
This Wednesday, I don't think I've got any guests. Actually, we're talking about some lighthouse in Scotland or something like that. But fill in the form. If you want to get your YouTube channel seen, right? You want advertisement for your YouTube channel, fill in the form, come in and talk to us, and we will do our best to put you out there.
And especially for any flat earthers. I mean, come on,
Oh,
take
yeah.
up the challenge, man.
Flat earthers, definitely flat earthers. That is a must. Please, Lord, bringeth me a flat earther.
And you know what? I'm just gonna say this. Here in Bald and Bonkers, we talk about some crazy subjects on this show, and we're looking to expand even further. We've already had a plethora of colorful characters on this show. Mm-hmm. Next week, thank God, we're finally managed to reel possibly one of our favorite guests
yes
ever.
I get excited when she comes on. Rawr.
Yeah, I know you when we were off camera last time, you got awfully excited when she referred to herself as mommy.
I can't help it. She's a very pretty looking. People... Look, I can't help it. She's a very pretty looking woman, and it's that accent that just goes for me. I'm sorry.
Have you ever heard her sing though?
Can just.
Oh, she is. She has that voice that sends chills down your man. She is
Don't
good.
do it, Dakota. Don't, you bad boy.
What?
You look at this.
I'm just saying, Elena Denon
he's going at me. He's going on at me saying that about me, and then he's going on about her singing. I think he's Elena. If you're watching this, and I know you do watch her stuff, I think he wants to go out on a date with you, Elena.
Okay,
it's coming out now. It's all coming out.
Okay, dude, I'm about to say something that would get me in trouble.
What? Go for it.
Yes. You know, if the situation was different, if I met someone like Elena, I would probably not say no. That is high class right there. You know, and I honestly thought she was younger than my mother. But she is.
No, but she's only in her 30s. I mean, she's not that old. I mean,
Elena's in her 50s.
No, she's not.
She said it herself. She said it herself. I have the email.
Liar. You fiendish beast that you are. Saying the bad things about Elena. That's that, Elena. If you're watching this back and listening to this back, God. I'll give him a virtual slap.
Yeah, no. So I'm just gonna say it would feel a little awkward dating someone who was older than my mother. And I'm sure Elena would have similar. I've gone older, but okay, dude, you're gonna get me shot.
I couldn't help it, Elena. If you're watching, I couldn't help it. Because look at he's starting to blush and he's like, who?
Okay, you also got to realize. Apparently, Elena and I have known each other for some time now, and she's well known with my star family, which should make for a very interesting conversation when we have her on.
Well, definitely need to. You know, I can't wait to see her comment. Please comment in the box below, Elena, after you listen to this or watch this.
Yeah.
Look at him, he's got all red. He's getting all flushed now. He's getting all red and the sweat's starting to pour off.
Okay, first off, I have a red curtain, so
what?
That's why. No. Why am I getting so damn flustered by this?
Look at us. See? Young love. To be young and in love.
No, just
look at me, he's getting
okay, I'm just gonna say this. No, I'm just gonna say this.
High blood pressure or something.
Well, actually, I'm awful young, but I'm very big, so
he's awful young. Hints there, hints. Well, you just said you're awful young, but you're awful big. I mean, come on, what are you?
Mother!
I'm sorry, I can't help myself, ladies and gentlemen.
God, after the day I had yesterday, I needed to laugh. God.
Honestly, Elena.
He's just getting me back for the number of times I've harassed him about you. Anyway.
So you were saying she's coming on the show.
Yes, Elena's going to be coming on the show. Undoubtedly, it's going to be an interesting conversation because I can only imagine the conversation that's going to follow up because of the number of people that got so obsessed. Oh, yeah.
Are they women?
The number of people that got obsessed after I asked Elena about the affair question.
Oh, God.
It's like, and for those of you who don't know what that was, here's the basic question. If someone is involved in a Starseed program and they have a family that's going to be waiting for them when their time is done.
Yep. Well,
does that mean the relationships that they get into while in this life, in this body, is that cheating?
I wouldn't say it wasn't. It's no cheating because they're up there and you're down here.
Oh yeah, that's also what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, eh?
Mm-hmm.
When it's more like what happens in Vegas stays on YouTube.
I know, but at least we know now that you're young and big, and that's what counts. What?
I swear, between you and Drew Ellingsworth, y'all just like
Ladies and
fucking with me.
gentlemen, this is going to be done as one of the most funniest, I would say, one of the most funniest episodes I think we've done. At least we know that now. For any young ladies out there, this man is single. This plane existence is single. Maybe up there he's probably married or something like that. But contact Bald and Bonkers email if you want to meet this handsome young man. There you go. What? Oh, come on.
Oh, dude, you're supposed to be my secretary. They keep bouncing through you for that shit.
You know why they come to me? Because they find me handsome and they find me talkative, you know.
Talkative, I can agree with.
I definitely talkative, you know.
But yet you don't really listen all that well.
I don't listen that well, ladies and gentlemen. I will say that. That's one of my things. It comes in one ear and it just leaves the other, you know.
This moves faster than this.
But he's young and big, so that's what matters.
That call you old and small then?
See, that's disgraceful, ladies. Any ladies that would like to message Bald and Bonkers and tell them what you think of Dakota's comments tonight, please message Bald and Bonkers at the main site, baldandbonkers.net. You know, same places where you get the guest form. You know, so if you want to come on and give
guest form and you know, you can link to all of our merchandise, our social media, all the services we offer.
Yeah. You should put your Facebook on there for the people to find you so they can contact you and talk to you. And
well, first off, people can stop stalking my private page because I have individuals on there that don't want the limelight, and I'm trying to respect their wishes.
Yeah. I've had that problem too because I'm friends with certain people, and people will be like, "Hello, my name's such and such. I see you know a certain person," because they'll go through my profile and obviously look, and I'll be, "Yes, I know that person." They'll be like, "Oh, can you get me on their show? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge," and I'm like, block.
I was like, everybody who's on my Facebook, we've all had personal dealings with one another. We know each other. All these people that go to add you randomly, I just don't get that.
Well, that's why I changed my Facebook profile. That's why I've changed it now. You can get a friend request from me if I send it to you, or you can follow me. That's that.
And, you know, now that I think about it, I have to question some things because I know of at least 2 other Dakota Fransons that are on Facebook.
I wonder the same amounts on me.
Yeah, there's a cricket player that has the same name as you.
Yeah.
No, but I can't help but wonder how many people have hit them up trying to look for me. You know? Chris is doing blow right now. Otherwise, he would probably be answering with some kind of sarcastic remark.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, I ever wondered why I sniff? I've got sinus issues at this time of the year. I can't hear it. I had to mute my mic and blow my nose. Right. You know, but honestly, ladies, just visit the page. I mean, it's the same as I did that Go Squad Scotland. I've set up a Facebook page where it's open. Anyone can join, right?
Yeah.
But they still keep sending me friends requests and strange messages.
Oh, wow.
I see you're such and such friends with that such and such person, and I'm like, Look,
okay,
that guy doesn't accept friends requests unless he knows you, and that's why they're coming through me or that woman. It's, and you know how many I get a week? I get about 10 or 15 different people every week.
You know, you want to hear something I used to get?
What's that?
When I first started telling the story about my daughter of what happened, and it's before the ET element came into it.
Yeah.
I've had women messaging me about that.
Mm-hmm.
Say, oh, I just love your story. By the way, I'm not her mother, wink, wink. And I'm just like, okay, why are you messaging me in the first place? Do you need help with something?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I think you had some visit and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, you have no clue.
I mean, remember Mike the Naked Bigfoot? He would come on the show, and he had the same problem on Twitter.
Yeah.
Except he was getting mails sending him pictures.
I've had that problem too.
I haven't came across that. I'll tell you what I have had a lot of lately, and it's as funny as then. It's religious groups wanting me to add me to their group, and I keep saying to them, I'm like, don't add me to your group, and they do it anyway, and then I leave, and then they send me another thing, but add me to the group again, and then I block them.
I've had religious groups fucking corner me in the parking lot of stores.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm doing is just trying to get off of work.
Yeah.
They would corner me in the store to give me fucking pamphlets. And that, unfortunately, my dumb ass, they actually send beautiful women. So my ass is trying to be nice and charming and take it and not turning down. Eventually, you want to know what I eventually did to get that to stop?
Yeah. What?
They sent an older woman to the door. Says, "No, I'm looking for Dakota Franson." So my mom has me answer the door, and she's like, "Make him go away." So I was like, "Sorry, this house follows the Church of Satan." Slam.
Really?
That's what I did.
Does that actually work?
They never showed up again.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry, they were randomly showing up at my house, up at my work. What the fuck?
I know. See, this is the thing, right? We're no famous shit, right? We're no famous shit. People know who we are, right? People talk to us and stuff like that. Can you imagine what it's like for some of the professionals that we know?
Oh God. I've met, okay, some of you may know I am involved in the movie industry. Have been for a while. We've got a thing with William Shatner getting ready to come together here soon. Some of the stories I've heard are absolutely disturbing.
Oh yeah.
There's this one gal. She's had people stalk her house.
Yep.
She has a security camera set up. They will purposely, some of these idiots made it a game to see how far they can get before the alarms go off to her house. And let's, because we were talking about some disturbing looking motherfuckers earlier who brag about looking like something out of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
The pizza on the roof scene.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that the actual house had to put up armed security because people kept throwing pizzas on the damn roofs? Like the fucking waste of food.
I mean, I had a conversation with somebody, a kind of celebrity in the kind of paranormal world, and I just come out and said it. I says, do you get hassled quite a lot on Facebook? And he says 40 or 50 messages a day to people he does not know who they are. That would do my head in. I mean, one a day. I mean, I get one a day for a religious group. Want me to add me to their group. Look, I've got nothing against your religious group, and I know that you've been watching this, and this is how you got to know me. I've got nothing against your religious group. I wish the very best, but I don't want to be part of your group. I've got loads of groups on Facebook that I'm part of, all paranormal ones.
And speaking of groups, all the people that just start randomly adding you to a bunch of just random ass groups, and I'm just like, okay, first off, what am I doing here? One.
Nah,
and
no.
two, don't y'all start cornering me because I left. I've got my own shit to do. I can't have my phone blowing up all day.
Someone added me to Farmers Weekly or something. Farmers this, and I'm like, tractors or something like that. And I was like, what? So I left that.
You'll never be lonely on Farmers Only. Really?
I know, Farmers Only. I mean, it was Facebook, but honestly, guys, if you know me and you're listening to this, don't add me to any groups. Don't.
Okay, I'm just going to say
Please
this.
don't.
Look, yes, we chose to kind of take a public approach to how we do things. And yes, there's certain risks that come to it. But that does not excuse common human decency.
Yeah.
Look, if somebody recognizes me out in public, they want to say hi, ask me questions, I'm usually more than happy to. I don't mind. Come say hi. Stop trying to go through him.
I know.
He's all the way in Scotland. What the fuck is he going to do?
So these old women want your number, and I keep telling them, I says, listen, I can't give his number. He's got an intergalactic woman in space.
Yeah, that's a little better than some of the underage women that have been asking about you.
But that's very true. I'm past caring, the amount of messages that I get. But anyway, let's go on with the show. What do you want to talk about tonight? Do you want to talk about the fact that, I mean, it's so interesting that's about so many people disappearing on Earth. Do you want to tell them?
That is actually something we should probably go into. Go into like certain, well-known missing persons cases and stuff like that. And, this also comes into dangerous territory. Like a couple weeks ago, how we were on with Brian and Lex, and I was kind of calling out all these psychics that was trying to utilize a rather very violent situation that unfolded here, where like a bunch of college girls were murdered. The dude's been arrested. Looks like fucking Ted Bundy.
God, I've seen it on TV.
But the number of people that claim they're psychics, they're using this for clout, and the number of people harassing the families, it's something that we got to be careful with, because people think they're all high and mighty. Because, to quote Mike Tyson, the age of the internet has made it to where people have gotten used to not being punched in the face.
Look, I was watching one the other night there on YouTube. It wasn't on TikTok, it was on YouTube. And the guy, I don't know if the guy was a real psychic. The guy's like that. He puts his hand on his forehead and he goes, hum. And then he goes, yes, the killer's gone. It's somewhere near a ditch. That fairly narrows it down. Somewhere near a ditch.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be like two somewhere,
Yeah, I know. And, I know you're really wanting to go into missing 411, and yes, I have put emails out, so please respond. But there was a case a few years back where a guy went kayaking and then all of a sudden disappeared on the river.
Yep.
The family reached out to psychics and they said, oh, he faked his death. His body's going to be... Some were saying, oh, he faked his death. Some were saying, oh, he's going to be found near the rocks. I'm from Idaho.
It's rocky everywhere.
We're known as the Gem State for a reason. The family actually went as far as rallying. No, there's a story. Let me finish. The family rallied enough people to basically harass local authorities to turn off the water dams for a few days.
Yeah.
So they could try to search the water, because the area they thought he went down in, there's major water dams, and that basically supplies electricity to the entire area. So they're all right, fine. Well, drain the water for a few days, see what happens. A few days go by, no luck. Well, guess what happens when they start pumping the water back?
Yeah.
The body popped up on some rocks.
But I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a river with any rocks in it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
And
like saying
the particular river he was on has a nickname of the River of No Return. It has that name for a reason.
I mean, that's like somebody drowning in the sea and somebody saying, yes, there's seaweed nearby. I mean, that it's ridiculous. I mean, this subject's so interesting, guys. I mean, you can ask any device in your house or your phone or whatever, how many people every year in the entire world, 8 million people disappear. But you have to narrow it down a wee bit. Some will be found alive, some will be found dead, some in wars. The quote was talking tonight before the show. So that leaves maybe 2 or 3 million gone. Right? Now, you're thinking to yourself, 2 or 3 million, that doesn't seem that much in the entire planet. Let's talk about Iceland. It's got a population of 367,000, I think it is. Round about that, 370,000 people. Imagine one day, right, you woke up and it was on the news that every single person in Iceland had just disappeared. And where'd they go? No one knows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, there's going to be serial killers out there because what is an average? How many serial killers is there in the US working?
Well, that number's been around for some time, but
yeah,
a statistic that goes around is that any time at least within the United States, there are 50 active serial killers.
Right. So if you do that, maybe in the UK, Ireland, everywhere where there's a town or a city, there could be that. So there's people getting murdered.
Mm-hmm.
There's people organized crime that's maybe getting buried in the field somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh.
They've been executed. But then there's that percentage of where did they go? Oh, I'm off into the mountains.
I love how your
yes,
camera's pixelating out right now.
And it's I know. It's like yours was doing it too. It's like oh, it's put me off the stop there. It's like people will get into the woods, yes. Some of them will fall into the river and drown, like that man in the kayak. Or was it canoeing or kayaking? It's the same thing, isn't it? Then there was some could go into the woods, yes, maybe fall over and break their leg and die, and eventually they'll be found what was left of them. We'll say that. But then there's cases, right, where there'll be a gorge way, right? And you can't go up unless you've got mountain climbing gear.
Mm-hmm.
And behind them there'll be 5 people. And in front of them there'll be 6 people, right? And the person in the middle will just disappear. Like out of Missing 411. Right? If you look at David Paulides, very, very interesting. Where do these people just disappear to? Do they fall into a new reality? Do they fall through like a slip in time? This is the question. I mean, look at that. Was it that aircraft that disappeared? Was it
Malaysian Airlines Flight 147?
Yeah. People are like, oh, it crashed into the sea. Right. I'll admit it could have crashed into the sea. But
there's been debris.
There's been a wee bit of debris. But why was the transmitter turned off? Now, yes, you could say the pilot was suicidal. That's what he did, right? Or did something else happen? Was there something? Was it deliberately shot down? Was it deliberately? See, I think. What's your go?
No, I was going to say when it comes to Malaysian Airlines, we should look into that conspiracy for an episode because they say that there was a recording that somehow miraculously got recovered from that airline, and there's remarks saying something's boarding the airplane. They're not human.
Really?
Allegedly.
See, was there no NASA employees on that plane?
I believe there was.
Scientists. Do you know, find that strange?
Well, it also kind of goes into the number of celebrities that were looking into the child trafficking that suddenly ended up dead.
Yeah. I mean, you could follow a lot of these things on YouTube and TikTok and that, was saying there's been rings that have been like I mean, like maybe smuggling children rings that have been smuggled. Have you seen that one that was in Hollywood? Meant to be uncovered Hollywood smuggling ring, and there was thousands of children found.
Yeah, there's more than one ring. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, we all know that Hollywood is, well, know all of it. There's a lot of actors out there that have spoke out against it, and look what happened to them.
Mhm.
Poof, they just died. Who was that? Was it the guy for Need for Speed that had something to do with a child smuggling ring? And he was going to, what was that? Who was the man that died in Need for Speed, the actor, years ago?
Oh God. Obviously not Keanu Reeves.
No, it's not Keanu Reeves, but it was, oh, what was his name again? Ah, right. Anyway, he died mysteriously.
Wait, not neat. Are you talking about Paul Walker?
Paul Walker, aye, that's him.
That's Fast and Furious.
That's all right. Sorry.
It's like I don't know if he was.
Aye, but look at that guy that was in Star Trek, the new Star Trek. I mean, his handbrake failed in his brand new Jeep and killed him.
Well,
I mean,
actually,
seriously, his Jeep.
Allegedly, they did find that was a faulty part on the factory's part.
But there's so many movie stars that have wanted to come out and say something, and they've just died. Who was that famous? And this is a very dangerous subject that we're talking about right now, especially with Hollywood. Who was that woman? Remember, she was a talk show host. And
she women talk show host. That really limits it down.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, what is this? See, this guy. This is the great thing about being alive. Oh, she's amazing. Wait, no, she was a celebrity talk show host, and for years she said there was conspiracies going on. Let's have a look. Do you know Ken who it is?
Celebrity talk show host that talks about shit that happened to him. Yeah.
No. She was convinced that she was being followed about.
There's quite a few.
There's a video out there. It was on TikTok. I think it was. They said she was dead at the time, and she actually got up on the stretcher when they were putting it in the back of the ambulance.
Yeah. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember her name. Okay, now you actually told me something to limit it down.
Yeah.
You also got to realize, Chris.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things you're not going to know 100% sure unless you're there.
Yeah.
But the body does not just like that. There's still an electric charge. And
that's very true.
Especially if they're being wheeled out of an accident.
I will say this, right?
It does not take much to stimulate enough of a reflex to make the bodies go up. Morticians use that to fuck with people all the time.
She was convinced. Can you see if you can find out that name? Can you see if you can find that name while I talk about this? She was convinced that she was being followed. She was in 2 car wrecks, and she was convinced that she was being followed. And because she was wanting to come out and talk about the children and stuff like that in Hollywood. And she was silenced. She was silenced. I honestly think she was silenced because somebody had broke into her house 3 times. And see, this is the problem with this world, guys. There is so much darkness going on right now.
And hash.
Yeah, that's up. That's up. And she just... It's not just her. Come on, there's been a lot of celebrities that have just passed away, and strangely, right? Because they'll no go with the whatever runs Hollywood.
I will say this. I will say this, and this is one of those things where we have to be respectful, but at the same time we do have to be careful. People try to say we're digging into the conspiracy. It's not true. One, look at how many conspiracies have been proven right within the last few months alone. One. Yep. 2, they try to shoot down the idea that the CIA isn't pumping people full of drugs that try to dismantle everything or prove that they're up to something. The CIA was found guilty on several occasions of funding the drug trade in South America.
Yeah.
take a cut of profits. Can you imagine they won't have some sort of supply down just in case someone
Look,
steps out of line?
This is
No one's
something
going
that
to believe a junkie.
Look, this is what the CIA also did, and people will go, "Oh, that's not true," and this is actually true. What I'm about to tell you, because I actually know quite a bit about this. The CIA in 1945, right? The CIA 1945, and our glorious leaders then snuck out of Germany Nazi scientists that had done terrible things.
Yeah,
Right?
Project Paperclip.
They,
We all know this.
yeah. There was von Braun, right? He worked as well.
He is the reason we got to the moon.
Yep, he's the reason we got to the moon. But think of all the people that died under him. It's not just that. There was chemical engineers that we gave citizenship to. Well, no, me. The Americans gave citizenship to, right, in return for their knowledge. And these people were the people that designed the gas that killed a lot of these people. The world is a very dangerous place.
Here's something else.
No.
You got to take into consideration. And this is going to piss the hell out of some woke culture, right? This is going into the idea of trans people and all of that.
Yeah.
There's been a number of people who spoke out due to the fact that this level of acceptance that, well, naturally may have been well intended at first for people who have that sort of mentality. And now I'm not saying anything bad against people that feel like this or like they're the wrong gender, born the wrong gender, a man in a woman's body and all this. I think it's a situation that needs to be more closely examined before we start pushing these drugs onto people. These hormonal drugs, right? Because guess what? A lot of these chemicals that are used for sex changes, gender reassignments, guess where they come from?
Where did they come from, Nicola?
Nazis.
Exactly.
Is another thing. It's like, oh, the Nazis would have killed trans people. Yeah, but who's to say they didn't learn for how quick the people turned on one another because Wolfenstein has an example. You're playing through the sewer systems and you hear this woman complaining to an officer about abnormal antisocial behavior of a boy who's trying on his mother's lipstick. You say, oh, they would have been carted away. No, not if they found a way to make people administer the drugs to themselves.
Yeah.
And their hands are clean. They didn't do nothing.
I think that's a show in itself, talking about the Nazis and what they did.
the Nazis is an entire series.
I think we actually had Mike on when Mike was still with us. We had him talking about what
yeah, we
happened.
did go into it a bit.
Yeah, and I think we need to really get an expert on to talk about. Maybe leave that with me because I think I know somebody. There's a rabbi on the internet that talks about this quite, and I would like to get him on actually to talk about what they did.
Here I'm also going to say something. All right, we're all taught in school that Adolf Hitler tried to kill himself through cyanide. Cyanide pill didn't work.
Yeah.
So he shot himself before the approaching armies could get to him, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like you said before when we got to talking about this, the soil samples found with his body didn't exactly match the geography of the area that he was allegedly spotted. Yeah. Now, here's another thing. If that was in fact Adolf Hitler, I know this is somebody who's just by the very mention of his name gets you flagged online. That's also why we stream to so many platforms. Why did the Israelis, Germans after the war, the Americans, the British, why was millions upon millions of dollars utilized in order to try to track down Hitler after the war.
There's actually documentation out there that the CIA actually think that he survived in Argentina.
There's decent
Him and his
classified
wife.
documents.
Yeah.
That not him, not the wife, but yeah, Hitler survived, made it down to Argentina with a small group of SS soldiers, and lived out his old age as an alpaca farmer. And if you actually go into some of the stories from the locals, they noticed that there was a man with a German accent who had a lot of temper issues.
Yeah.
In that area. He is dead, but he did not die in that bunker.
No.
Also makes you wonder about some of the more high-profile targets that have allegedly been assassinated today. You know, people don't want to try to say, "Oh, the government never would do that." They wouldn't say like Osama bin Laden just to pull a name out of a hat. They have already.
Yeah, look at President Kennedy. That's just one of them.
I mean, they want to try to say, "Oh, the U.S. presidents, if there were government projects involving UFOs, they wouldn't know anything." Why did Ronald Reagan write documentation about it?
Did you know that there are so many similarities with President Kennedy's death as Lincoln's death? Did you know that? They were
some of those are falsified.
Some of them are falsified, but some of them are real.
No, there is very real connections. And you also got to consider every U.S. president, especially Donald Trump, except one, are actually related.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
If you trace it far back enough, every U.S. president except one, I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was because
Reagan?
No, not Reagan. But every single president except one, and the reason why is because his lineage just kind of goes back to, I think, the Netherlands, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me exactly, but every U.S. president, even Obama, is related.
See, I think I'm jumping back to the people that's disappeared here. I think a lot of this stuff, like Nazis and all this kind of stuff, has got to do with these people disappearing over the years. You don't know what secret experiments that have been going on. What they did to the Jews was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah. What they did to the Nazis did to the Jews was absolutely disgraceful. Right. And I pray to God that it never, ever, ever happens again. Right. But there's too many people just disappearing off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. And then it makes you wonder, is the government playing a part in this? Are they taking these people, or have they gave extraterrestrials the rights to take people? Have they brokered the deal? Or you can take a certain amount of people, but we want some technology.
Oh, those deals have already been done. But you also got to realize the United States, the Australians, Canadians, they all have had, and it's still going on to this day, apparently. They have all had part in the racial cleansing of blacks and indigenous tribes.
That's right.
And it's still going on to this day with the indigenous people. There's several indigenous young women that are going missing that are completely being ignored on the state, local, and federal levels.
Yeah.
Why?
Why indeed? Where are they going? It's this deserves a show on its own. I wish we could get David to play this on, because he could explain some of the disappearances, because they have found some of the corpses and stuff. But I do believe, and as Mike the Naked Bigfoot said when we interviewed him, the Nazis did other things to the Jews. They had arrangements with people, right? I mean, there was carts and carts on Jews would turn up at these castles, these strange castles. The Jews would go in.
They'd all go in, but none of them came out.
But none of them ever come out. What happened to them? Were they eaten? Were they beamed away to a different planet? I don't know. See, I actually had this theory. I mean, like, Adolf, right? What happens if, right, they let them deliberately let them go, the Allies, in return for the technology, in return for the alien technology? I mean, it's a big thing to buy. And you turn and says, "Oh, it's the spacemen visiting. We'll give you everything, but I want to escape."
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. You got a majority of the things going on. Hitler surrounded himself with some genuine evil geniuses.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I mean, people get mortified at the fact that when I see, Nazi Germany, the Third Reich, and all that, it's a fascinating subject to me because of the level of genius, the level of brutality.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you wonder, how the hell did they manage to pull that off?
Well, I'm going to say this. Germans are good at what they do. They're good at building vehicles and they're good at building stuff. And it is quite interesting how they pulled that off. And I think they'd help for somebody else. And then I think that help left. And then they lost the war because they left.
Well, the main theory, and it's actually, this is one of the ones that seem to hold the most water.
Yeah.
Like Mike said, some of the help that they tried applying to either went missing because there's the whole spirit destiny and all that. And Hitler had it for a little bit, lost it. Then 11 days later, he allegedly was dead and lost the war.
Yeah.
And every ruler that had that thing in their possession lost it, lost the war. But also on some levels, the things that they reached out to for help in order to pull off, because you got to realize, ladies and gentlemen, the Allies were getting their asses kicked up until one point.
Yeah.
Because the help allegedly started realizing exactly what was happening and said, no, we are not helping you do this. We're gone.
Yeah. See, a lot of people deny this, right? What I'm about to say, they know, and it's that there's actually proof out there that Churchill knew what he was doing to the Jews. Not just the Jews, to the disabled people, other gypsies, Roman gypsies and stuff. The Allies knew 2 years, 3 years before the end of the war what they were doing. Do you not think that these people had spies there? They had spies in Berlin. They had spies in France. Spies everywhere. The Allies. They knew this was happening, and they did not say a single word until they went, "Oh, look what we've found." Right? I mean, I don't know if they could have done anything about it, but they could have maybe tried to help some people escape. But what could you do? I mean, you couldn't really parachute stuff in because the Nazis would just pick it up. It's a very dark secrets. Don't think that your governments in this world, the US government, the UK government, they're all the same. They've got secrets that would turn you white. They have done some terrible things to their own.
I was just going to say, it's kind of going back to the experimentation theory that you were putting forward. We know it's been said that yes, shit's gone down.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like I've said before, none of these situations are as black and white as people want to make it believe. And on one hand, it's it's part of the good intended nature that they don't want to believe these things. They don't want to think that somebody could be capable of such cruelty. Yeah. But at the same time, you also got to realize we know experimentation on civilian population took place. We don't exactly know what was done, because any records that were kept were swiftly destroyed when the people conducting these experiments realized, oh shit, we've been caught.
Yeah. I will say this to everybody now, because I know they don't really teach the World War II subject anymore at school.
Oh no.
For some weird reason. And they don't teach the Jews been murdered for some weird reason. Always, if you're an adult, always tell kids that you come around, never let anybody forget what happened. Tell them stories. Tell them the truth. Tell your kids this, because when 100 years, if you stop telling your kids and this, teaching this thing, 100 years, people will go, oh, that's a long time ago, you know? Because the minute we forget about this, it could happen again.
Well, you know, let's go to what's already happening, Chris.
Yeah.
Historical monuments are being completely destroyed because people feel like the history is too dark to be teaching.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. Granted, there's some people who legitimately can't seem to learn a lesson unless they learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
But the purpose of teaching history is so that our younger generations can do better. The whole purpose of younger generations coming in the first place is so that they can come in with fresh slate, fresh eyes, and fresh ideas to solve problems we may never even thought of.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this another subject here. The Japanese, do you know that the Japanese teach their students what they did to the Allies?
What they did to the Chinese.
Yeah.
Japan tries to make themselves out to be the victims in those wars, but here's the thing. They were the ones that started that.
They were the ones that started it, but they actually teach their kids what they did, the terrible things that they did. So as hopefully it never happens again.
Mm-hmm.
And all these people that are disappearing and stuff like that, where these are atrocities. Think about it. If 2 million, just say 2 million a year are disappearing without a trace, right? What's that over 10 years? 20 million? More than what World War II.
When it comes to situations of wartime, naturally, you can understand why it seems like certain people just drop off the face of the earth. There's so much going on at once.
Yeah.
It's hard to focus, understandably so. But at the same time, there's a reason why the FBI and several agencies have dedicated teams to monitor dark web chatter for missing persons.
Yeah.
I've had to talk to these guys because some guy, some fucking creep out of the northern part of the state started trying to message my sister conveniently after he knew I was in Thailand. And my mom initially thought I was trying to play a prank.
Yeah, it's the world is a very, very dark and dangerous place. And some of the most safest cities in the world aren't that safe. Right? Just be very careful, because you don't know who's taking these. It could be aliens. It could be interdimensional aliens taking you away for their dinner. Get what I mean? Nobody knows, because they've never turned up, these people.
I mean, hell, there's some missing persons cases we can bring up that beforehand they were working on some kind of communication with extraterrestrial. Right. They were working on, they thought they could figure out time travel.
Yeah.
Those would be shows all on their own.
Talking about shows, what news do you have for the show, Dakota? What? Because we're near the end of the hour, but what news do you have?
And kind of going into alien abduction stories a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I got to thinking. We're trying to get to this documentary, and unfortunately, some of the bullshit that's stirred up kind of caused a bit of a detour from our plans, but we can still recover. What do you think if we started a series where we have people submit their own experiences, then we look into it, research it, see what we can find, come up with little theories of what it could have been.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's really good.
Just before we sign on to this, you want to hear the latest celebrity little UFO story that's starting to float around?
Do tell.
Miley Cyrus.
Right.
That's going to make some... That apparently when she was driving down with a friend through San Bernardino, California, she swears up and down that she was chased by a UFO.
And
that, and how she put it, if I remember correctly, it looked kind of like a big weird snowplow in the sky. Which
you sure she wasn't maybe?
She did also admit to having some weed wax.
That's something to say. Was it maybe not just a snowplow behind her?
But she also claims that several other people were seeing this thing. So
that's very true. But they could have all been. Into. They could have all been.
It is California. It's not illegal.
California. It is California, ladies and gentlemen. You know. So Dakota, what news are we going live next week? What's happening next week? What's looking Sunday?
You know,
Strange Women's coming on.
Well, this Saturday.
Was it Saturday?
Yeah,
I thought it was Sunday.
No, it's Saturday. We'll do like we usually do and have the Sunday show for to kind of reflect. Because like we've had to do every other time we had a chance to talk with our lovely guest Elena Dinan.
At least.
But I think, yes, we'll still have it bounce through our Patreon, but I think just because it is Elena, that's going to draw a crowd. That episode will actually be live. But by the time people actually hear that bit of news, it'll already have gone out.
That's very true. And at least you can tell her that you're, what is it, big and young.
I have to get back to Scotland.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You, these younger generations, you know, people are sitting there thinking, Jesus, that Christopher looks about 25, and that one there looks about 78. Get what I mean? What?
No.
See, he's getting all red again. See, every time I bring up Helena, his face gets really red. I think he's got some hidden emotions there. Like horror come at the water now and slap me.
All right. Let me prep the Stargate here. Wouldn't it be funny if you had like a light source right here and I can just go?
And I could just flick a switch and it would come on, a fake horn come out and punch me in the side of the face.
Oh, if we had that kind of production value, that would be awesome.
I know, but you know. So, what the Sunday we'll be talking about the show with Elena, you know.
Yeah, kind of reflect on whatever happens because something always does.
Yep, and next week I've got the Ghost Squad Scotland will be live on Wednesday. I think we're going to talk about one of the Scotland's haunted lighthouses. You ever heard of the lighthouse where everybody disappeared? One strange night.
Believe I have heard of something like that. Yes.
Yeah, strange encounters because we don't have a guest, you know. But anyway. But remember, guys, fill in the forms if you want to come on the show, you know. Or check out the TV network, or check out the merch store where you can buy a replica of Dakota. Rather, I don't know if we could do that. Could we? No, replicas of you.
Do you realize how much that would cost?
We figures. You could be like
those. I thought about it, but those cost almost a couple $100.
You know, I mean,
for
you can go in there and get yourself a Bald and Bonkers hat, so you can say that you support the Bald and Bonkers. Check out the Patreon. How much is the Patreon, by the way? What's the rate?
It's $5 a month.
$5 a month. I mean, that's nothing.
For all our regular episodes to see before everybody else, for insider knowledge about what's going on with the show and the company. I don't know, maybe some other exclusives to shows that we may be planning in the near future.
Do you know something? We should maybe do a show once a month just for Patreon. No, just for Patreon.
I know. Did you listen to my last message I sent you?
Probably no.
Oh no, there's the one little experiment I want to do.
Oh yeah, I think you made something about
Yeah,
experiment.
yeah. There's been a couple things getting tossed my way about some new ways to do the show, and I've been thinking about it. I'm a techie guy, so I like playing around with those types of things. Shut up, Chris.
I never said a word. I mean, you said it's quite baggy. You're young. You like playing, tossing around, and now you're telling me to shut up. I mean these things don't mean anything to me.
I know. I know they don't mean anything to you, but still, shut up, Chris.
He's getting red in the face, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a red curtain.
And
I'm bald, so the light comes off.
Right, when you go, I'll not say a word.
Now you got me off my rocker.
You're off your rocker now? Oh my God. Lena, what have you done to this guy?
Oh, what the fuck? She gave me the red pill.
She gave you the red pill. So
You
come on.
Matrix?
I know what the Matrix is, Dakota.
All right. I'm just making sure.
I'm 41 years old. I know what the Matrix is. Good God, man.
I would have sworn you're older than that.
Neil, Morpheus, Neil, I know all the people. Terrible.
Fuck, no, you seriously got me off my track. What the hell?
You were talking about Elena, how you were big and large or something like that at the same time, and how there's a big redness coming down or something.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry, Elena, but you got to admit she'll be laughing. I'm telling you, she'll be rolling.
Well, why do you think she watches for us, Chris?
I think she's awesome.
She is awesome. But Elena,
remember,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to do this to Scotty. That's gonna sound so weird on the audio.
I know. They're talking about you being young and big, and then all they've got to hear is.
Yeah, I found the ball gags that you keep trying to say me and Ashtar
White duct tape. I've never seen white duct tape before.
Yeah, white duct tape.
Yeah, but anyway. So, what time will the live be next week? Same time, 10 p.m. UK time?
Yes, like we've told Elena, 10 p.m. GMT. Told her about an hour and a half.
Yeah. Hopefully the internet will no play up this time.
Right. That was just weird how it cut it off from her being able to hear me, but she could hear you just fine. Maybe it's just because you guys are both on the same side of the pond. I don't know.
Maybe that's what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to contact Dakota and send any messages whatsoever, you'll find the form on Bald and Bonkers, and there's a message section. Please message Dakota with all complaints. I bet somebody messaged you. You say dirty things on that live that night. I seen you.
All right, you've seen me. Cool.
You see me. Look, we get strange ones. They get strange people. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly, we should do a phone in one night. Give out your personal mobile number, Dakota.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
How? I think that'd be great.
No, you give out your number.
Oh, to call the UK for America, it goes to a lot of money. I think you just do it in America,
No. You don't get to escape this shit.
You're
just in the hellfire than I am.
Can you imagine the crazed old people that's got to phone me up on a day with you?
Can you imagine the old women that you already go out with?
I don't have any. That's terrible saying that,
Oh, yeah. Alan's going to be so disappointed.
I know. Alan is single too, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to contact him, he'll watch this back.
I don't know. These two talk about watching each other's biscuits all the time. My goodness.
I'll have you. Look, there's nothing like a Tunnocks tea cake.
I'll have you. Don't look. I touched a nerve, ladies and gentlemen.
But look, the nerve. I eat my Tunnocks tea cakes and my caramel logs. I also suck my Fisherman's Friends. You like Fisherman's Friends?
I've never tried one, actually.
Fisherman's Friends. And no, ladies and gentlemen, it's not what you think it is. It's Fisherman's Friends.
Were you hoping for a sponsorship? What the hell?
That'd be great. If you want, just contact me. I'll take all the free Fisherman's Friends that you can spare.
Well, let's actually get some more people onto the show without, stirring up bullshit controversies.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming, and we will see you next week. Well, it'll actually not be next week; it'll be the week after next week.
No, I think for Elena, because she always brings over so many people, and is always just an awesome show. I think, for every once in a while, we'll do a live on the main one just to show we're not dead.
Yeah, and Dakota's young and large. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the show tonight. And I'm going to leave you with those thoughts in your head of Dakota standing there. Goodbye,
just remember,
everyone.
if it does not sound as large, it's because it's been fairly cold outside and we just did get a snowstorm. Bye.